Hello, this is Holly Beal, the College Career Specialist. This video is intended to provide an overview of some of the opportunities available to students beyond pursuing a four-year college degree. So one of the most popular options for our students is to start at Northern Virginia Community College. NOVA has several programs designed to support students in obtaining an Associates of Arts or an Associates of Science, who also might be looking to transfer to a four-year school in order to complete a bachelor's degree. The Pathway to the Baccalaureate is a program offered to designated high schools that adds a layer of support, really, to high school students transitioning to NOVA with the intention of completing a four-year degree. There is an application. It's usually due in early November. As of yet, I don't have the exact date for that, but we will be, as soon as we know when the application is due, we will be announcing it and making sure all of our students are aware. But once in the program, the students meet with the NOVA counselor. Typically, like in the past, they would meet there at South County. Instead, all of the program is still operating, but it's a virtual setting right now. But they will be meeting throughout the spring for assistance with everything from placement testing, financial aid, course registration. Really, it's just a nice opportunity to sort of create this cohort while they're still seniors in high school of all of the steps that would help them transition. And then once they go to NOVA, they continue to receive the support through the Pathway program and only have one point of contact while they're there. NOVA does have guaranteed admission agreements with more than 40 colleges and universities, and each agreement is available online, and it stipulates what a student needs to do while they're at NOVA to guarantee the transfer admission. I pulled up the agreements on my phone and just took a screenshot so you can see what the list looks like. And in addition to having a college or university, it's important to just notice that some of the agreements are specific to a major or a school within a university. So as students are working on their classes at NOVA, if they know that they want to go to University of Virginia in engineering, that will have one agreement versus if they want to go for a bachelor's in interdisciplinary studies or nursing or anything else. And the other thing I would mention is just guaranteed admission may or may not ultimately mean accepted into another major or program at a different school without one of these agreements. So if the agreement is generalized, yes, you can have admission to the university, it still may be an issue of a separate application than for admission into a different program. The other thing I would say is just to keep in mind that while you could be accepted, some of the classes could be counted as elective credit rather than credit towards your major. So it's really kind of wrapping your head around this just kind of helps you jump the admissions process. But you would still have to work with the school in terms of how they would interpret your transcripts. And some schools have thresholds on how many credits they allow to transfer in from another institution. So if you're working towards a two-year associate's degree, that typically involves around 60 college credits. But if you're looking to transfer to a school that has a limit of 30 credits coming in, it's just really important to know that before potentially losing out on time and money, on the classes that may or may not transfer. So you want to work with an advisor at both institutions. Advance is a relatively new partnership with George Mason University that is program specific, and it is intended to help students save time and money as they transition from NOVA to Mason. The last time I checked, there were over 100 degree programs with the intention to add more. And like I explained, guaranteed admission means that you can enroll in the university, but Advance ensures that students will be able to enroll in their desired academic program and not lose any credits in the transfer. Students enrolled in the Advanced program are able to access all of George Mason facilities while they're working at their first 2 years at NOVA. So in a world where we're not all at home, a student could use their ID and still go to the George Mason Library or the athletic facilities or something like that. They are assigned one advisor that they work with throughout the duration of their studies, regardless of whether or not they're taking classes at NOVA or at Mason. I have found that many of our students don't realize that NOVA has an honors program. It does. The honors program at NOVA has an over 90% graduation rate within 2 years. So academically motivated students can participate in a program that has more of a Socratic seminar. Typically the classes are designed in a way where there's a lot of participation, and there's a required number of honors credits that go into participating in the honors program, but I also find talking to students there that they really like it for the social engagement aspect. They tend to see a lot of the same students over again. It helps build relationships. I know the Annandale campus has an honors lounge, which just, it adds to a sense of place and being, especially for commuter students. And then the program also has several memoranda of understanding. So I know schools like George Mason, James Madison, Mary Washington, they all have a memoranda of understanding that allows students who transition from Nova Honors into their honors programs at the universities as well. So many times I have students come to me later in the school year having made the determination that they want to go to Nova, but they missed the deadline to sign up for Pathway. That is fine. Anyone and everyone wanting to enroll at Nova can access their outreach programs. Depending on the primary campus they plan to attend, first-year students are assigned an outreach counselor. Generally, it's done by their last name. Sometimes it's done by the high school that they graduated from. But they can work with that outreach counselor to also make sure that they are, following all of the steps in terms of how to get enrolled, access some academic advising, things like that. So any questions, please just don't hesitate to ask me about that. So sometimes a student will say to me that they don't want to go to Nova because college isn't for them. So maybe they need a break from a traditional classroom, or they've decided that they don't want to write papers or take any more math classes. And it's important to remember that Nova offers many programs outside of the Associates of Arts or Sciences that I want to mention. Generally, the Associates of Applied Studies is focused on practical hands-on skills, and it is not intended to transfer to a four-year program. It is intended to get someone prepared for a particular field within the workforce. So examples would be things like an Associates of Applied Studies in Interior Design or Dental Hygiene. Depending on the program, the number of the semesters might vary. Now, the caveat to all of what I just said was that some of the information technology programs do actually transfer to select universities. So if that is a potential interest, I would recommend working with an advisor from Nova and contacting the university for information. I know some students have chosen to go this route, honestly, from a cost perspective. They find that if they get an Associate of Applied Studies, they're able to very quickly kind of change their trajectory on their income working within IT and then decide to later on complete their bachelor's. So Nova also has career studies certificate programs. So for instance, someone may not want or need to pursue the entire Associates of Applied Studies for Automotive Technology, but maybe they'll decide to work towards a career studies certificate in diesel basic repair. Or because there are just so many options, it's best to connect with an advisor from Nova to find the best fit. There's also Nova Workforce, and the Workforce offers accelerated training programs for specific in-demand fields like IT and cybersecurity, healthcare, dental, things that each region in Virginia is able to kind of say, this is where we have a lack of employees. This is where we need skilled people. So the Workforce creates programs through Fast Forward, which is an effort to fill those high demand jobs in our Northern Virginia region. The cost of certain programs is then subsidized by the state in order to, encourage people to take those programs and go into that direction. So it results in students only paying about 1/3 of the normal tuition price. And then for those that qualify for financial assistance, there is a FANTIC program. I'll be honest, I don't remember exactly what the acronym stands for off the top of my head, but I know that it can cover as much as 90% of the tuition for the program. So some current Fast Forward programs include things like Certified Ethical Hacker, Billing and Coding Specialist. I think there's a Clinical Medical Assistance and Pharmacy Tech. So there's just a lot of opportunities out there. Year Up is a nationwide organization with a mission of filling the growing skills gap between available unskilled workers and the millions of vacant job positions requiring skilled employees. It partners locally with Nova at some select campuses, and it works with students by creating a structure for success, including professional training and mentorship. So students complete 6 months of advanced employment training and college classes followed then by 6 months of an internship. Oftentimes the internship leads to job offers. There's also a stipend that students receive during the time, both the first 6 months, they get a small stipend and when they're in class, and then the second 6 months, there is a larger stipend. It includes everything from practicing interviews to, I think they have a clothing closet for interviews. So it's another great organization to know about locally. Fairfax County also provides classes for career and work readiness through adult and community education. So if you look through the catalog, you will find a wide range of training opportunities from business to IT. They have health and medical, as well as trade and industrial programs. It also offers apprenticeship classes. An apprenticeship is a two-part training program consisting of classroom-related instruction and on-the-job training. So qualifying employers are those that they have to be registered with the state for apprenticeship. And basically what you do is you take, classroom lessons that are offered separately from the training that you receive on your job. What I understand is that, you could register for the classroom lessons and then try to find an employer, but many times the private companies will help pay for the classes for their employees, especially if you're a strong employee that they would want to retain. So for those that are unsure of where to start, I have definitely had great feedback that connecting with specific trade unions can be really helpful in terms of how to get started finding a good employer. So you can probably tell from this slide that there's a lot up in the air right now when it comes to supporting our students looking into military enlistment. Typically, we have hosted military recruiters at the school. We are currently looking into whether or not there will be any virtual visit opportunities. As I explore that, as soon as I have any confirmation, I will be emailing that out and trying to share it with our students. We also in the past have offered the ASVAB at our school. As long as we are out of school, that's not going to be a reality. So what I am encouraging students, and I've talked to colleagues at other schools, for right now, we would encourage anyone who's thinking about military enlistment to start with todaysmilitary.com, if no other way, to just explore the branches, hopefully connect with a local recruiter office. And unfortunately, we're working on it. I just don't have more to share at this time. All right, well, I hope that this was helpful. Please reach out if you have any questions, either through the Parent Coffee next week or directly to me or your child's counselor.